Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can build an AI powered assistant GitHub chatbot that basically helps us to find the endpoints docs. So let's say like written docs. So if you go to a written documentation, you can find a chat with a docs section and you can find any endpoint uh, section of the docs easily. And the same way we are building an AI powered assistant chatbot. So first we are using HTTP node that helps us to get the URL of GitHub where all the API. So if you go to and this section here, so you can find all the API endpoints, all the documentation. Uh, it's a very big section. So go back and once you execute this, you will get this. Now the second part, we need to create an embeddings so that AI can search the any section easily. So for this, we are using Pinecone vector store. You can go to Pinecone and then you can create. First, you need to create a Pinecone index. Index is like this, and in the index we have a namespace and remember namespace like here. So after creating an index, you have a now index. Then you can use and you need to get the API key, and then after that you can go back and use Pinecone to get Pinecone. So you can see you have Pinecone vector store, and in this you need to add document to vector store. Once you select it, then you have this node, and you need to use insert document node, and then the index you have. After that, you need to use default data loader. So default data loader basically help us to load the documents. So from the HTTP node. So if you see, we have load all the input data. Type of data is JSON, and then character splitter is basically help us to process the data in chunk size. So for example, I say 1000 character. That means it's chunk 8 1000 characters, and we are using a character recursive character splitter. It's basically recommended because it helps us to keep the meaning. Because if let's say we have specified that it displayed 1000, but let's say we from that the node the meaning will be incomplete. So recursive character splitter help us to keep them. So from the embedding, so we need to create embedding, and we for this we need to use models. So I'm using Mistral AI, and it's basically give us a free credit. So if you go to Mistral AI, where you can find API keys, and then you need to just load the API key and then paste here, and you can see Mistral embed model. Now, once you execute it, then but make sure you need to have a RAM. You need to increase the RAM because it takes a lot of RAM because when you execute it, and if you don't have, you can find an error. So after you process and create an embedding and then store the embedding in the Pinecone vector store, then the second part is to use that. So the next part is this workflow. So in the first node, we are using a chat trigger node. So when we message, it goes to AI agent, and in the AI agent, we are using tool agent. We can also have conversation, but for the specific purpose, we are using tool agent, and source is connected chat trigger. And then you can now give a custom message so that it helps us to know what you need to do. So then you need to select the models using OpenRouter because so you can use OpenRouter free models. Then the next is we are using memory allows us to remember the past conversations from the user. Window length, text length is 5 means they will remember past 5. Now the next is a tool. So for tool we are using vector store tool to query the vector. So we are description useful to get out to die. Database control this is the important part. So we are querying the Pinecone vector store to let's say let's say user asks the API endpoint or to create an issue. So first it goes to AI agent. AI agent will use their mind what the user wants. Then it uses then it goes to vector store tool which use Pinecone for querying tool. But the user query is not is format, so we need to first create a padding. That's why we are using padding models. The first query will be converted to embedding, and then it will search in the Pinecone vector store to find this similar meaning. So operation mode is retrieve document, and then we give the indexing. So after that, now if I run it, let's that give me API point to create issue. I want to create an issue in that. So processing. So now you can see it uses their mind and then vector store tool and then it's first embedded and then use Pinecone vector store to match the similar kind of word and then give it back to store using mind. But as you can see, it's taking a lot of time because we don't have embeddings stored in the because you can see we need a tree for this, so that's why it did. So, but he's getting he's using their open source models to give the first URL and then body all the. So this is very useful because when you when you need to understand the docs, you need to find the API endpoint very easy. So that's it. I hope you find it